What if the one person who could destroy Harry and Meghan's carefully crafted narrative is about to break her silence? You're about to discover why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are reportedly terrified right now. A royal insider who knows their deepest secrets might be ready to tell all. And trust me, what she could reveal would change everything you thought you knew about the Sussexes. This isn't just another royal rumor. This is a potential bombshell that could shake the very foundation of Harry and Meghan's version of events. Look, we've all been following this royal saga for years now. You've watched Harry and Meghan's journey from fairy tale wedding to dramatic exit from royal life. You've heard their side of the story through Oprah, through Netflix, through Harry's book. But here's the thing. There's someone who was there behind the scenes. Someone who witnessed things firsthand. Someone who's been silent until now. And according to royal experts and multiple reports emerging this week, that silence might be about to end. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, is reportedly in talks for a tell-all memoir. Now, you might be thinking, so what? Another royal book? But this is different. This is someone who has an inside track on Harry and Meghan's secrets. Someone whose own daughter lived in their home. Someone who knows the real story behind closed doors. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield, host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, recently told Sky News something that should make Harry and Meghan very nervous. She said, "I think the Sussexes are likely scared of an alternative version of events coming out." Think about that for a moment. An alternative version. Because here's what you need to understand. Since Harry and Meghan moved to California, they've controlled the narrative completely. Spotify deals, Netflix documentaries, Harry's memoir Spare breaking sales records. They've told their story their way, and the royal family's famous never complain, never explain policy meant nobody challenged them. But Sarah Ferguson, she doesn't play by those rules, she never has. And according to insiders, she's reportedly facing financial difficulties. Sources describe her as desperate for a lucrative book deal. When desperation meets opportunity, secrets have a way of spilling out. Let me take you back to understand why this matters so much. You remember when Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020, right? The world was shocked. But here's what most people don't realize. During all that drama, during the breakdown of Harry's relationship with his family, someone stayed close to him. Someone in the York family. Kinsey Schofield revealed. We know at least one of Fergie's daughters stayed especially close to Harry throughout the breakdown of the relationship with the family. We're talking about Princess Eugenie, Harry's cousin, one of the few royals who remained in his corner when everything fell apart. And here's where it gets really interesting. Eugenie didn't just stay close emotionally. She lived in Harry and Meghan's UK home, Frogmore Cottage, during the pandemic. Think about what that means. She had access to their private space. She likely heard conversations. She saw documents, letters, personal items. She was there during some of the most turbulent times in the Sussex story. And who does Eugenie talk to? Who does she confide in? Her mother, Sarah Ferguson. As Schofield pointed out, Fergie likely knows some of the Sussexes' secrets. But what secrets could we be talking about? Well, let's think about the timeline. Harry and Meghan have painted a very specific picture of their royal exit. They've claimed they were driven out by racism, by lack of support, by a cold and uncaring institution. They've positioned themselves as victims who had no choice but to flee. But what if Sarah Ferguson knows a different story? What if Eugenie witnessed things that contradict that narrative? What if there were behind-the-scenes negotiations, demands, or behaviors that the public never heard about? You see, Fergie herself knows what it's like to be the royal outsider. She was divorced from Prince Andrew, vilified by the press, caught in scandals. She rebuilt her life outside the palace walls. In many ways, her journey mirrors what Harry and Meghan went through. That shared experience might have created a bond. It might have led to honest conversations. The kind of conversations where secrets slip out. And then something unexpected happened. The relationship between the Sussexes and the rest of the royals became even more strained. Harry's book Spare contained bombshell after bombshell. He revealed private conversations with his father and brother. He shared intimate family moments. He aired grievances that many felt should have stayed private. The royal family stayed silent. They didn't fight back. They didn't correct the record. They maintained their dignity and their policy of silence. But that's not the whole story. Because while the senior royals stayed quiet, others were watching. Others were taking notes. Others knew that Harry and Meghan's version wasn't the complete picture. Sarah Ferguson is one of those people. Now, you might wonder why Fergie would betray Harry's confidence. Why would she risk damaging her daughter's relationship with him? And that's where the desperate label comes in. Reports suggest Sarah Ferguson is facing serious financial pressures. Despite her royal connections, despite her previous books and business ventures, sources say she needs money. And in today's world, what sells better than royal secrets? What commands a bigger advance than a tell-all from someone who was actually there? Publishers know this. They know that a Sarah Ferguson memoir, especially one that offers a different perspective on the Sussex saga, would be absolute gold. We're talking millions of dollars in potential earnings, book sales, international rights, serialization deals, the whole package. And here's what makes this even more complicated. Sarah Ferguson has form when it comes to controversial revelations. Remember, this is the woman who was photographed having her toes sucked by her financial advisor while still married to Prince Andrew. This is someone who's done reality TV, written romance novels, and never been afraid of publicity. She knows how the game works. She knows that scandal sells, and she knows exactly what secrets would generate the biggest headlines. But the real drama started when royal watchers began connecting the dots. Think about what Fergie could potentially reveal. Did Harry and Meghan make financial demands that were refused? Were there ultimatums given to the Queen before she died? Did they plan their exit strategy long before they claimed to? Were there business deals in the works while they were still working royals? These are the questions that keep Harry and Meghan up at night. Because here's the thing you need to understand. Harry and Meghan have built their entire post-royal brand on being the wronged parties. They're the victims of an archaic system. They're the progressive couple who chose love and authenticity over duty and tradition. That's their story. That's what Netflix paid them for. That's what their fans believe. But what if Sarah Ferguson has evidence that contradicts that narrative? What if she has receipts? Imagine if she reveals that Meghan was planning her exit from day one. Imagine if she discloses that Harry was offered support and help that he refused. Imagine if she shares conversations that paint a very different picture of who was difficult and who was accommodating. The impact would be devastating. You see, Harry and Meghan's critics have always said their version of events doesn't add up. They've pointed out inconsistencies in interview answers, contradictions between what Meghan told Oprah and what Harry wrote in his book. But without proof, without someone credible coming forward, those criticisms could be dismissed as speculation or hate. Sarah Ferguson changes that equation. She's not a tabloid journalist. She's not a palace staffer with an axe to grind. She's family. She's someone who was there. Someone whose daughter was Harry's confidant during the most crucial period. Her word carries weight. And then there's another layer to this. Princess Eugenie herself might have mixed feelings about all this. Yes, she stayed close to Harry. Yes, she supported him. But she's also a working member of the royal family. She saw what Harry's revelations did to her family. She witnessed the pain his book caused William, Charles, and Catherine. At some point, loyalty gets tested. At some point, you have to choose sides. If Sarah Ferguson does write this tell-all memoir, if she does spill royal secrets, it won't just impact Harry and Meghan. It will force Eugenie to take a public stance. It will potentially end whatever friendship remains between her and Harry. It will create another fracture in an already fractured family. But here's what really has royal experts buzzing: the timing. Why now? Why is this story emerging now, in March 2026? Well, think about what's happening in the royal world. King Charles is settling into his reign. William and Catherine are taking on more prominent roles. The royals are moving forward, creating their own narrative of a modern, relevant monarchy. Harry and Meghan, meanwhile, have been quieter lately. Their Netflix content hasn't generated the same buzz. Harry's book cycle has ended. They need to stay relevant, but they also can't keep attacking the family without consequences. And into this delicate balance comes Sarah Ferguson with potential dynamite. If she publishes a book that contradicts the Sussex narrative, it reopens every old wound. It drags the family drama back into headlines. It forces Harry and Meghan to respond. And if they respond by doubling down on their version, they risk looking defensive and dishonest if Fergie has proof. If they stay silent, the alternative version becomes accepted truth. Either way, they lose control of their story. And for Harry and Meghan, who have monetized their victimhood so effectively, losing control of the narrative is an existential threat. So where does this leave us? Well, as of right now, Sarah Ferguson hasn't confirmed she's writing this tell-all memoir. But the reports are out there. The speculation is swirling. And Harry and Meghan are reportedly gripped by fear, according to sources. That fear tells you everything you need to know. If they had nothing to hide, if their version of events was completely accurate, why would they be worried? The fact that royal experts believe they're scared suggests there are indeed secrets. There are things Fergie knows that could damage them. The key takeaway here is this. Harry and Meghan have spent years controlling their narrative. They've told their story without meaningful contradiction from inside the family. But that era might be ending. Sarah Ferguson, facing financial pressure and armed with insider knowledge from her daughter's close relationship with Harry, could be the one to finally offer that alternative version. And if she does, if she reveals what really happened behind closed doors, it won't just be another royal book. It will be a reckoning, a moment where the public has to decide which version of events to believe. The carefully crafted Sussex narrative, or the insider account from someone who was actually there. For Harry and Meghan, that's a terrifying prospect. Because once doubt creeps in, once people start questioning their version, their entire brand starts to crumble. The victim story only works if people believe you're the victim. If Sarah Ferguson can credibly show otherwise, everything changes. This story is far from over. Sarah Ferguson hasn't made her final decision yet. But the fact that we're even talking about it, the fact that Harry and Meghan are reportedly worried, tells you this is serious. What secrets does Fergie really know? What could she reveal that would change everything? And will she actually do it, or is this just leverage in some larger game? Drop a comment below and tell me. Do you think Sarah Ferguson will write this tell-all book? And if she does, whose side will you believe? Make sure you're subscribed because this royal drama is just heating up, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The truth might finally be coming out, and it's going to be explosive.